Welcome to WTF. It's DJB Productions Network. My name is Danny J. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave some comments down below, share the channel, and make sure you're telling people about it. We have a great show today. I want to get all my people out first, though. We got Brandon Smith.
Hey, what the fuck?
We got Val Thompson.
What the fuck?
And we got Chrissy Pino.
What the fuck?
Guys, it's great to jump back in here again. Another great show at WTF right here. Today we have a great subject. And I got to say, it's a great subject. Brandon actually brought it up, which was kind of cool. And it is going to sex shops by yourself or even with significant others or just friends or maybe even potential dates. Guys, first of all, let's go around the room here. Who's actually been in a sex shop?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
down here.
Here.
how recent have you been in a sex shop?
I actually used to run one for 5 years.
There you go. So there you go.
I've seen a lot of different stuff over
he
5
ran one.
years.
He ran one.
And like I was saying earlier, to see nowadays a mother will take their 18-year-old daughter into the sex shop, the two of them, which is what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And they come in and what are the best things, you know?
Is that bonding?
That's fucking gross.
Is that bonding?
That's fucking gross.
Lubricant.
Do you talk sex
a
with your
little
daughter?
too progressive of a parent for my taste.
Definitely.
Pino, do you talk sex with your daughter?
Do I talk sexy to my what?
No, not sexy. Do you talk Hey, Ariana.
Like,
No, that stuff. I'm saying, she's like, Mom had some of your milk today. No, I'm saying, do you talk sex with your daughter?
No.
Well, how old is she?
She's 12.
No, she's too young. You're not going to talk to her.
We're not there yet. She has questions, and I think she definitely knows things.
Do you say go talk to your father? Do you say go talk to your father when she asks?
No. My mother made my father give me a sex talk, and that coming from an old school South Philly Italian guy, that was not good.
I'm surprised you had kids. I'm surprised you had kids.
Oh.
I mean,
I'm thinking about it right now, and
I mean, here's the thing: a sex shop.
Here was the talk. Okay, I'm going to tell you real fast, sum it up real quick.
Yes.
So my cousins had posters of. I mean, they were teens, so they had posters of naked, pinups and naked females posted like all over the bedroom. Their bedroom.
Like Pamela Anderson.
My father, I think I was like 14 years old, and it was the summer, and he put me in the room, and he said, "You see this? You see all these pictures?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, this is what guys think about. So that's sex. That was like the end of it. So okay,
wow,
that's hilarious.
Aggressive.
So now Pino.
How old?
Now Pino. Now
about 14.
14. Oh. So Pino, how did you? When you first had sex with somebody, did you just kind of like sit there and go like this? Say, what? Are you doing it or what? I'm ready.
He was like,
and the guy's looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing?
Boys only think about sex. Like boys only think about one thing. So
I can picture like
guys think about it more.
I can picture
women.
Pino's with her boyfriend, right? This is what I picture. Pino's with her boyfriend.
There's definitely more women going into the shop than men.
Pino, listen to this. Pino's with her boyfriend, right? She's made
and they're more mature about
it. Brandon's not listening. Pino's with her boyfriend for the first time, right? He's like, she made a decision. She's going to have sex for the first time. Here she is like this. And the guy's like, what are you doing? She's like, well, we're having sex, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe that's a little too much for you. How about this?
I've actually seen these poses.
It didn't happen exactly like that.
No, not exactly like that. It happened pretty much like that.
But not exact.
Pino was a popular girl. They said, man, she poses and everything.
What did you get last night?
Pino's like this. You liking this? Are you liking this? She's making faces and stuff. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this? That's a what the fuck. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? I get myself into. Pino is a popular chick. They said that's why I want to make faces all the time and poses. But now, getting back to the subject, you're talking about going to a thing, and here's a store that obviously has a lot of stuff. Now, let me ask the women first, Val and Pino. When you go in there, and I'm asking two of the wrong women. First off, I'm telling you that right off the bat, girls.
Why is that?
Because Val is a guy with breast, and I mean that in the sense that her mentality. This is why Val and I have been friends for so long. Because Val is such a dude brain. She does. She has such a dude brain. Am I wrong?
I agree.
She has such a dude brain, and Val's just like, yeah, fuck it. Listen, yeah, fuck it. Val's like all about everything, right?
Yep.
And Pino is just like, I think Pino's just I think she's very aware of being a woman.
Girly.
And I get that from her. Like, it's like some people just like, you don't get it. But when I see Pino, I see a woman that's like very aware that like, I'm a woman. This is my hair. How you doing? I'm Pino. That's what I get from her. And
Okay.
she's like, yeah, you're not wrong. She's like, you're not. Pino's like, you're not wrong.
I am very aware that I'm a woman.
Showing.
I picture Pino with like a clear mask that goes on and puts the makeup on her face, and like steam comes out of it, and she comes off, and she has like all her makeup on and shit. But
you wake up like that,
girls. When you go into
that could be another topic for another day. No, I do not wake up like that.
What? Let me ask you this.
But I'll tell you what, I don't look very different from this either.
No,
so
she doesn't. I've seen her without makeup.
filter.
No filter. She's a good-looking girl. She's
the
a good
best.
Yeah, she is. Let me ask you this. First off, your libido. Where is it at? 1 to 10.
10.
10 being highest. What is your libido?
I got a 3. It's
a 3?
Kids knock it down.
A 6?
7.
Okay. So you're right in the middle.
Things are busy right now, so it's
and I get that. And as you get older, I know things change and stuff like that.
Actually, as women get older, we get like our libido rises. Actually,
Yeah, when they get.
Have you noticed if yours has?
40, it comes.
Have you noticed if yours has?
Yeah, it's more like.
Like, are you? Like,
like we got into a fight, and it was like, oh, I'm so like, I need you to apologize to me. It's kind of like, now I need you to just drop your pants at this point. Like, I don't need the sorry. It's all good.
I'll push you to more.
The more you're exterior or interior type
like,
of
as
person.
women get older, I guess it's like our brain with the sex turns into more men. Like, we're very coy in our younger ages. We're very modest about it. We're like, we play that cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
And then you hit 40 and you're just like, yeah, I'm good with the cat and mouse game.
Is it because you're in the second half of life and you're like, yeah, I'm going to die eventually at some point now? Mortality's reaching in.
I don't know what it is, to be honest. I'm not sure.
Because that's what I would think, to be like, you know what? I don't have time for the cat and mouse game because I'm going to die at some point.
I don't have time for the cat and mouse game.
I don't have time for it.
I don't have time for it.
Don't kiss me.
I got kids. I got this going on. I'm doing all this stuff.
Are you that girl? Are you that girl? It's like, don't kiss me. Just get going.
Depends.
I heard that the other day. What's wrong with this guy? Like, why all these questions? Just have sex with me. What's wrong with
now, Val,
it depends.
Now, Val, I'm going to speak for you a little bit, and then I want you to jump in.
Yeah.
I know Val for very long. I know Val for a very, very, very long time. I know Val since 96.
Yeah.
About 96, right?
Yep.
And so we've been friends for so long. And Val's like one of my best friends. I love Val to death. And Val was a very, very open person as far as she wasn't shy, right? That's a pretty safe. You weren't a shy person, but you weren't out there either. In a sense, in other words, you had to know Val to know Wild Val.
Yes.
In a sense, right? And when I say Wild Val, I'm talking Wild Val is like, let's go on a roller coaster, let's hold sparklers up in the air. I mean, Val was not that wild, per se, right? And Val and I both went to each other's weddings. Okay. And a funny story about Val.
A month apart too. 1 month before.
1 month apart, our weddings happened, and we were at each other's weddings. And the funny thing, a funny story before I move forward, is that at Val's wedding, I dated 2 people in her bridal party. I had dated 2 people in her bridal party. And my
so that
wife,
was a really fun wedding.
that was a what the fuck moment, because I said, they walk in. I wasn't really paying attention to who was in Val's bridal party. I was and I wasn't. And then they walk in, and I'm sitting there with my wife because we're the guest, right? And my wife a month, like we're married a month, right? And I'm like, holy shit! I said I dated that one, and I dated that one. My wife so loud, you fucking whore! Why is it that we go to a wedding and you dated 2 people, not in the guest list, but in the bridal party of all fucking things, right? Right.
Had to stand up there and watch them the whole time.
Yeah, right. But that was a funny story. But Val, like, all of a sudden, it was funny because Val was married for how long? Val, were you married for?
About 6.5 years.
About 6.5 years, and it won its course or whatever. And would you say it was a terrible breakup? Would you say it was a mutual breakup?
I would say towards the end it was probably more mutual, I think. Even though he was kind of like, oh, you know, like he was being left. But it was kind of like I figured he checked out like I was, kind of thing.
Right. But Val one day opened her eyes and became woke. That's the new term nowadays in 2021 is woke. She became woke.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? There's more out there than just you, Mr. Married Man.
Yeah.
And then she discovered a whole other playing field.
I did, yes.
She did. So Val explored her feminine side and said, you know what? I'm pretty much digging this.
I did, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay. Well, Val moved over to that side. Okay. It's like, you know, like it's like Star Wars. It's like Star Wars and dark side, light side, whatever.
Yes.
And so she became like Obi-Wan Kenobi to a point, you know, whatever. And
Like
then
you become so happy again.
So what the fuck is up with these Star Wars analogies?
I don't know, because so then I said, all right, so now Val's a lesbian, right? And then a couple of years later, Val's with some dude. I said, Val doesn't know what the fuck she wants. Right? I said to myself, here's a girl that's like, what the fuck? Because Val has no idea what the fuck's going on in her life.
So Val, what happens when you go into the sex store then? Like,
where do you go, Val? Do you go?
Where do you go? Exactly.
Where do you go?
Like in the sex shop. Like
you get all external.
Actually, before you answer that,
yeah,
because you're with a very wonderful woman now.
Yes.
I love her, Melissa. I love her to death. She's awesome.
She is.
She's very, very cool. She's very cool. But I like to get Val very awkward in the sense of saying, like, Val, so who's the man in this relationship?
I know. He's asked me for years.
Years. I'm like, who's the man in this relationship? Who's instigating stuff and who has to get submissive? Because here's the deal. Melissa is much taller than
Val. Like a foot taller than me.
Yeah, Val's very short.
Yeah.
And
like 5'2", she's like 6'1".
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking so to me, I'm thinking this is like extra hot that this little Napoleon looking chick, right, is like totally dominating this big broad, right? You know? And I'm like, Val, tell me this is true. I said, don't tell me, don't lie to me, but please tell me this is true. Tell me that you're in there and you're like, get down. You know, I want to know what's going on in the bedroom. So with that first, before we go into the,
I mean, Dan, if you want to know so much, like, why don't you just ask to join in?
I'll get to that in a second.
I mean, did you not ask me at one point, like, hey, how do you start up a threesome? Like I'm an expert on it, and I have never even
Well, I'm a producer. And I'm doing a documentary, and I need to be in your room.
Yeah.
When this is happening.
Show love to both girls.
I have ways of getting in and start videotaping.
I have ways of getting into this, and Val knows this. Val knows that if I'm filming a documentary, that means I'm trying to get some. That's exactly what's happening. But like, Val, with that first, before we get into the thing, is it 50-50 with you and Melissa, or is it more you? Is it more her? Who is the aggressor versus the aggressee? Who's the dominant versus the submissive?
I would say it's like 50-50. But for me, to answer Brandon's question, because I have been with men before, so you get the typical like gold star lesbian that's never been with a guy, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'm not really interested in those because they don't really like to use toys and stuff. And like,
Oh, there's a good point.
yes. But then you get ones that do want to use that because they still just if you like penetration doesn't mean that you're straight. You know, maybe you just like the feel of it. You know, so for
Is
me,
it maybe that just men turn them off? Is it maybe just that men turn them off, and so it's like we want a robot without a head and just a male body? Do they want that? Is it very sci-fi?
You talking blow up dolls, Dan?
They make dolls. They make men. They make men. Dude, would you guys buy one of those sex robot dolls that they have out, and just totally like disgrace it while you're having sex with it?
No.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying you, Pino. I know you, Pino's
Yeah.
got a lot. Pino's like, I would have to date it for a couple years before I start yelling at it.
And that happens.
But Val, would you guys do
I'd
that?
have to build a relationship
I
a little bit.
with this robot,
It's great. She never
Robbie.
talks back.
Robbie the robot. I can imagine, like,
Never
you got
gotten
this,
in
like,
an argument.
but imagine this, right? Like, Val and Melissa have this, like, male sex robot, and they make him look realistic as shit. And like, if you do like bad things to it, it gets like an attitude after a while. They're programmed to do that, right?
it does.
It does.
That's pretty funny. Then I might have to.
Wait
add
a minute. Is this a real thing you're
For
talking
comic
about? Or
relief.
did you just make this up?
No, I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. You can look it up.
That's
There's
What? That's
there's
bizarre.
male.
Will they
and
clean the
female.
dishes?
There's YouTube videos where you won't see like dirty stuff. You won't see sex.
Can
But
the
they'll
girls
show
tell
you-
them what to do?
They'll show you what they made them of, how they're made, how they're programmed.
Do they sleep in the
Right.
bed with you?
They sleep in the bed with you.
Oh my god!
They're like a full size. Like, imagine me getting Val, right? But Val's
they-
like activated. She's like,
Are they full
and then I turn
silicone?
on. She's like, "Hello, I am Val 2.3. Would you like to do things to me
Is the
today?"
hygiene up on this?
You know, I
thing?
guess-
Or does it have to be?
And I don't
cleaned
know if
every
they
day?
move like this or anything. I think they just sit there.
So it's
But
like
they
the
do-
sexual Jetsons, then, right? Like the
It's like the
maids
sexual
and
Jetsons. So Val, would you guys be into having a male robot and just like totally like say you're a scumbag, you're dirt, and I hate you, and then like be having sex with it at the same time?
No, I mean I wouldn't. I'm not gonna speak for her, but I'm pretty sure it's no.
She's been with guys too, right?
She's like, I hope it's no.
This is, I know. I hope it's no.
It's a hard no.
Like
Now Melissa's been with guys, right?
What the?
She had a boyfriend or two before she
Boyfriend
before
too.
you. Before,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so she's fun.
yeah.
She's what you call a fun lesbian.
Outgoing.
I couldn't be with somebody who wasn't open to other things like that because to me that's just boring and there's more out there than.
Well, you make a good point, though. You make actually a very good point. So when you guys go into a sex shop, have you done that yet with her?
Actually, just like I think it was just once. They actually have a really good one down here though.
They tend to in Florida have a lot of
Down
really
under.
good ones.
They do have some good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're huge. I mean, like I
Well, what was her
go?
what was her go to? Did she surprise you with her go to? Because that's the thing too. If you're in there with your significant other or maybe just a boyfriend girlfriend,
Yeah.
is this going to be a what the fuck moment when they surprise you with what they go for? Like
oh, it
Pino,
is.
Pino, imagine you're in there like you're with like some dude, right? You're not
Are
with
you
Mark.
totally
You're not with Mark.
comfortable?
Pino's with a new guy, right? She's with Jeff, and you go with Jeff, and Jeff goes. The first thing Jeff goes to is those balls. You know those balls, like the little balls? You're like, what the fuck are you looking to do with that? You know, like, is that what it is? Like, what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that is, or like those anal beads or something like that. And you're like,
Oh, that's what I
What
thought
the
you were talking about. Yeah.
You know that's for you.
Vibrating or non-vibrating?
Your hope. Are you hoping it's for you? Like just to kind of save like some grace with this dude?
I would be hoping. I like we're using that on me, right? Because like you don't want that up your ass, do you?
And like I can imagine Pino being like, listen, this is not happening to me, but I hope you're thinking that's happening to me, right? I just want to make this clear.
The prostate.
Dad, I don't
It's
want you-
not happening.
I don't want
It's
you. I do not.
happening to
I
me,
do not
but
want you. I do not want you in my ass. But I'm hoping you're thinking that that's going in my ass. Like I just want to be like eye to eye with you, pal. Jeff.
That would
My
be
God.
exactly correct. That
Jeff,
would
put the
be my
balls
main
down.
point.
Jeff, put the
Now
ball.
put the balls down and let's
Put the
move
cock
over.
ring down.
Hey Dan, I gotta tell you this story because you'll find it hilarious. This one guy I did date who was like, and I'm not against nerds because I'm a nerd, like
Yeah.
comic, like superheroes,
Yeah.
all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And this guy was a nerd, was completely a virgin, was like 38. So that was a huge red flag right there. I'm like, oh God, right? And he would
You were
tell
gonna
me
take it. You were gonna take that shit.
he would tell me the stuff that he would like buy at sex shops, and I'm like, why are you telling me you have this? Like one of those like asses or whatever. Oh well, you know that's just tighter if you like fuck that. I'm like, I would have kept that shit to myself. Like I would have taken that to the grave that I was like that I had like a fake ass I was like fucking.
He's a 38-year-old virgin though. So what's he supposed to talk to you about?
Well, I don't want to hear that shit. Why don't you go get a girl before? I mean, like, what the hell?
That's what you're for.
I think that is totally weird. Like,
that's totally weird. Like,
he's a virgin faking.
No, people came in and bought the fleshlight.
Here's the way I think it. I think Val.
Just go to the bar, get drunk.
Val missed a compliment there. Val missed a compliment. Yo, Val missed a compliment there. Right? This guy's 30. Let's run it down. The guy's 38 and a virgin, right? Because he's a nerd, so therefore he's not very successful with women. He buys an ass, a tight ass, mind you, too, because this guy wants to feel it. So he really wants to get in there, right? And then he said, I'm done with this ass. I want a real woman. Val, I picked you. That's a compliment.
That's what I was like.
I would have been like, sir.
I don't think Val took it as the compliment.
You're next up.
I was like, I'm out of here.
I was like, yeah.
Pino's still like, hey, just so we know, this is. I hope you think that was for me, but it's not going to go in me. But I hope it was.
I mean, like,
I'm not mad at you.
40-year-old virgin at this point. I'm like, no, that's not right.
Were either one of you, and Brandon, you can maybe even say that being a manager in a shop, you might have seen this. Was there ever a thing that was out of the ordinary? Like we're making fun. Like I'm making fun with that kind of joke or whatever. But did anything like that kind of happen where you're like, whoa.
I had.
What the fuck? Like, what the fuck
story, one of my biggest what the fuck stories was probably when these two girls came in. I think they were from New York, and I think they got a flat tire. And
this is in California?
So, this is right here on 30. The
up here.
Express Spice tonight.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they were all done up to the 9, man. They were 10s, seriously. I mean,
they look good.
Job, face, makeup, hair, everything. White pants, tight, came up to them, and my job's to come over and, like, take care of them, ask them if they want anything. And the weirdest thing happens, and they turn around, and it's 2 guys. And they're like, I'm like, can I help you? And they're like, what are you guys looking for? And we're looking for some strokers. And I was like, damn. And I totally just sidetracked, right? They were like,
what the hell's a stroker?
I didn't even know what to say.
What is a stroker?
Like, who is it for?
What is a stroker?
That's what, like,
be clean.
Pocket pussy, fleshlight.
Okay.
All the things for the male. And these girls, I'm told you, like,
fully for male. Yes.
Like,
it was like a poison. It was like a poison cover.
I was like, whoa.
It was like poison opens up and say,
It's deeper than mine. And I couldn't help but say, who are these for? And he turns around and goes, my mother.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Oh, nice.
So I kept it professional, it's all professional over there. And I gotta say, these places are not like they used to be back in the day. A lot of them are like boutique-ish and for customer, for couples come in.
But it's not like that anymore.
You got to keep the relationship going. I think if you aren't doing any of that stuff, then the relationship's dying just a little bit every day.
You go into the sex shop, and what made you say what the fuck? And I'm not talking about like a specific thing. It had to be something with a partner. Did you ever have a situation where the partner you were with shocked you in some way to say, what? Like, where did that come from? Blah, blah, blah.
No. It's like so boring. But no, I've gone into sex shops with partners, and it just always was like, I don't know. No.
You get some girls that will go over there and they'll pull out 5 different things, and then you'll get one that will pull out just like a lubricant maybe, or nothing. Or is kind of like nervous to even be in there.
I'm like, so do you want to get some flavored, like, some flavored
strawberry,
like, what's your favorite
chocolate?
Now, Val, I know Val does like tote life, and she goes in there with like her sex tote. which is like a
Got the whole bag, the grocery bag.
and she's in there like, da, 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 fill me up, fill me up. Da, da, da. It's like Halloween.
Like, if my
Like it's
sex
Halloween.
was always pretty good, but like I didn't need toys. We were good.
Christina and Val have the black bag.
Christina was like, I had all the posters in my brother's room. I know what to do based on their facial expressions. I don't need toys.
Well, but that's true. I mean, what the fuck? You gotta,
Yeah, very bad audio, by the way. I don't think your audio is like really like, wah, 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 but like I hear what you're saying. That's just really funny though. Pino had like a Vanna White poster. It's like her sex education.
Again, I got to jump off because we got to leave for this, or else we're going to be screwed.
Yes. So
No
what
point intended.
No pun intended. Yeah, right there. So Val's going to get a mail bot that they can abuse and stuff like that and comment on. Pino's going to work on her poses. Brandon's going to get another job at a sex shop, and I'm going to end this show and say, hey guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share the channel to everybody. Until next time, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
what the fuck?